In the tranquil town of Canterbury, a quaint house stood on the edge of a vast, eerie garden. This garden wasn't just any ordinary patch of green. It was bordered by an old, forgotten cemetery. The atmosphere around the house was thick with an unsettling quiet that seemed to whisper secrets of the past. The story begins about 3 or 4 months after my family and I moved into this house. At first, we noticed small, peculiar occurrences. Chairs would creak as if someone had just sat down or gotten up. Lights flickered mysteriously, and strange noises echoed through the empty halls at night. These oddities became so frequent that we began to consider them a normal part of life in that house. We brushed them off, attributing them to the house's age and the wild imaginations that often come with living next to a graveyard. But soon, things took a turn that none of us could have anticipated. My mother, sister, and I had planned a trip to Pakistan for a few weeks, leaving my father alone in the house. One evening, while we were away, my father decided to have a video call with my grandfather. As they talked, catching up on family news, my father suddenly heard the faint sound of a child crying. The sound was coming from the direction of my bedroom, located on the 2nd floor of the house. Concerned, he excused himself from the call and went upstairs to check. The crying grew louder as he approached the room, sending chills down his spine. When he finally opened the door, he was met with a sight that would haunt him forever. There, sitting on the edge of my bed, was a child who looked exactly like me. But something was terribly wrong. The child's eyes were hollow, devoid of pupils, just empty, dark voids staring back at him. Panic gripped my father as he froze, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. After what felt like an eternity, he snapped out of his daze and bolted down the stairs. Trembling, he grabbed his phone and showed the scene to my grandfather, who was still on the call. My grandfather tried to calm him down, reminding him that I was safely thousands of miles away in Pakistan, far from the strange apparition he had just witnessed. This incident left my father deeply disturbed. The once minor disturbances in the house now felt like ominous signs, warning us of something far more sinister lurking within those walls. When we returned from Pakistan, the decision was quickly made to move out of that house. My parents didn't allow me to step foot in the house again, fearing what might happen if I did. As we packed up our belongings, ready to leave the house for good, my sister and mother began to notice more disturbing occurrences. They would occasionally see a child playing in the garden, a child who looked just like me, or they'd catch glimpses of a child sitting in the corner of a room, quietly crying. Each time they tried to get closer, the child would vanish, leaving behind only an eerie silence. These sightings happened multiple times during the moving process, each one more unsettling than the last. It wasn't until we finally left the house that these strange occurrences stopped. Even though we had left the house behind, the memories of what happened there continued to haunt us. To this day, the events that transpired in that house remain a mystery. Were they mere figments of our imagination, fueled by the creepy atmosphere of living next to a cemetery? Or was there something more, something beyond our understanding, residing in that house? The thought still sends shivers down my spine. What do you think? Was it just a series of coincidences, or was there something truly supernatural at play? Have you or anyone you know ever experienced something similar? If so, let me know in the comments below. And if you have a story of your own that you'd like to share, feel free to send it to me. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the scariest things are the ones that seem most familiar.